Welcome to Write With Me. I'm your host, Krissy Nelson. This is a podcast for the one who feels that stirring to write, for the one who knows there's a book inside of them, but needs a nudge from a friend to simply begin, for the one who's put pen to paper many times, but just can't seem to bring it across the finish line. Whether you're just starting, stuck in the messy middle, or trying to finish strong, I want you to know I'm here with you. Because if I've learned anything in my years of writing and working with authors, it's this. Writers shouldn't write alone. We need community, support, encouragement to keep going. My friend, now is the time for you to write that book. If not now, when? So let's write. In the last episode, we talked about the 3 barriers that keep many writers from ever even starting their book: fear, self-doubt, and lack of clarity. Last time we unpacked the first one, fear. The fear of being seen, the fear of criticism, the fear of putting something out into the world that might not ever be received in the way that we hoped. Today, I want to talk about the second barrier, self-doubt. And this one is incredibly common. In fact, I've seen it show up in people who are more than capable of writing a book. People with incredible stories, deep wisdom, years of experience, and yet they sit across from me and they say something like, I don't know if I'm qualified to write a book. Or who am I to write this book? Or this one, what if someone else knows more than I do? Any of those sound familiar? Any of those relatable to you? Self-doubt, it has this way of convincing us that we need to reach some imaginary level of expertise before we're ever allowed to share what we do know. As if authors are supposed to have every answer. As if writers are the only people who have ever mastered anything. But here's something important to understand. Most authors are not writing from the top of the mountain. They're writing from somewhere along the trail. They're simply a few steps ahead of their reader, and that matters because readers aren't always looking for the person who's perfected everything. Often, they're looking for someone who understands what they're going through, someone who's wrestled with the same questions, someone who's walked through a challenge and come out on the other side with a little perspective. And that's where connection happens, not from perfection, but from authenticity. Just think about the books that have impacted you the most. Many of them were written by people who are simply sharing what they've learned along the way. Lessons, experiences, insights. They weren't claiming to have every single answer. They were offering what they had discovered, and that was enough, right? But self-doubt, it often whispers these familiar lies. You're not experienced enough. Someone else has already written about this. You don't have anything new to say. You should wait until you know more. But if we listen to those voices completely, then very few books would ever be written, would they? Because the truth is, almost every topic has already been written about in some way, but no one has lived your life. No one has experienced your journey in the same way you have. No one has your exact perspective, and it's that perspective that deeply matters. Sometimes I tell writers this: your book doesn't have to say something that has never been said before, but it does need to say something uniquely through your voice. It's your experiences that shape how you see the world. They shape the way you explain things. They shape the way that your core message connects with people. And somewhere out there is a reader who needs to hear your story in your words, not someone else's. Self-doubt, it tends to shrink when we shift our thinking. Instead of asking, am I qualified or am I enough? Try asking, what have I learned that might help someone else? Think about the experiences that have shaped you. What lessons have you had to learn the hard way? What insights have you gained through your own journey? Those are the things that connect with readers. You don't need to know everything. You simply need to be willing to share what you do know, what you've learned along the way, right? What the journey of life has taught you. And sometimes the most powerful books come from people who are still learning, people who are honest about the journey, people who say, here's what I've discovered so far. That kind of honesty is what builds trust with your reader. And trust is huge in being an author and in reader connection with your books. So if self-doubt has been whispering in your ear, trying to stop you and halt you in moving forward with writing the book that you feel that stirring and you know that you're meant to write, I want to encourage you with this. You don't have to wait until you feel fully confident. Confidence comes over time, and it often comes after we begin, not before. Writing has this way of strengthening your voice as you go. It's like a muscle. The more you write, the clearer your thoughts become. The more you write, the more you recognize the value of your experiences. The more you write, the quieter self-doubt becomes. So this week, I want to offer you a simple question to sit with. What have you learned that might help someone else? Not everything, just something. Because sometimes that one insight, that one story, that one lesson is exactly what someone else needs to hear. Next time, we're going to talk about that third barrier, lack of clarity, that feeling of wanting to write a book, but not knowing where to begin. And I'm going to show you why clarity doesn't always come before the writing. Sometimes it comes because of it. Until then, remember this, you're not writing alone. I'll meet you right back here next time with the same invitation to write with me.